Hello everybody, this is Dave Burkus for Insights from Burkonomics. Today's subject, have you found your strategic thinking place? Have you found your special place to think strategically without interruption? I found mine on a rock in Ensenada, Mexico years ago. But then again, I'm ahead of myself. Every entrepreneur has that moment of truth, the one that marks the decision point between entrepreneurship or maybe a path to job security with a larger employer. And down the road, most of us face another when deciding whether or not to go for growth, requiring new investment or increased risks. Well, here's my moment of self-confrontation. It happened many years ago when deciding whether or not to leave behind the relative comfort of a good income from my one-person operation or hire my first employee, which would allow me to spend more time in sales and growing the business. It was perhaps the most difficult decision of my young life. Just out of college and managing a business that had put me all the way through college and several years beyond, the cost of expansion would cut my take-home income enough to impact my lifestyle and perhaps, if not quickly successful, cause me to put off my pending marriage. Not a small decision. So I got in my car with a small overnight bag and I headed toward Mexico, Ensenada, Mexico specifically. And I had been to a place, an inn on the beach, and went there again for solitude for a short weekend just to think about the future. Checking into that inn that I had visited before, which was located right on the beach, I walked out onto the shore and found a large, smooth rock, perfect for a long evening of productive sitting. And I sat. I sat for 5 hours that night, thinking about the alternatives and what I really wanted to do, and how I would handle myself in business over time. Well, it was a momentous decision. And after that evening of isolated thought, it was clear to me that I wanted to take the risks, to go for it, to attempt to build a big business and leave my comfort zone. Well, the next morning, I returned to that rock, planning now that I was comfortable with the what and the when. And after a few more hours, I had devised my own personal plan. I would hire one full-time employee and one independent contractor. And I'd take no bank loans, and I'd ask for no outside investment. This would be entirely my risk to take, I decided, unaided. So satisfied, I left that rock, I checked out of the inn, and drove home excited, ready to execute my plan. Well, the story is true. The outcome was excellent. I grew that company to over 50 employees, even taking it public a number of years later, and selling my interest just at the right time to get into the computer business at a time of amazingly fast growth. But it all started with that decision on that rock in Ensenada, Mexico. If you have a life-changing decision to make, including whether or not to start your entrepreneurial journey, have you identified your rock in Ensenada? Do you have a quiet place where cell phones and texts and other distractions just can't reach you while you're digging deeply into a problem or an opportunity? How did you handle your journey to success? Was it by accident or intentional? If you have not taken the time to think strategically about how you're going to handle your own future, I challenge you to find your own rock in Ensenada and do that by finding your own quiet place. You'll be amazed how well you can do without all the distractions that come from our daily lives. Well, this is Dave Burkus for Insights from Burkonomics. See you next time.